Hey guys, it's Paul here with Toolmetrics, and I'm out in my garage, not in the shop yet because I've got this jumbo crate and it's too big to go in the shop, so I'm going to have to take the tool out of the crate. So what's inside of this crate, you might be wondering? 720 pounds of American-made drum sander made by Woodmaster tools. 38-inch wide capacity, so this is a big drum sander, and I'm looking forward to getting it out of this crate and going through the setup process. And that's what I'm going to show you in this video. Is going to be an overview of the setup process, pull out some highlights, maybe share some observations along the way, get it in the shop, and then I'll do another video where I get in, take a little deeper look at it, and kind of share some perspectives on what it might do for you in various projects, when it makes sense to use it, and so forth. So with that, come on along while we set this up. There it is. Well, that sure came out of the crate easily, and now I'm going to just get it up on some wheels and see if I can get it in the shop. Well, uncrating was pretty uneventful, straightforward. I was able to get it up on wheels, wheel it into the shop. Now it's ready for next steps of assembly, which really includes attaching a couple of switches, getting some Velcro onto the drum, installing an abrasive, getting some dust collection hooked up. And if that all goes smoothly, we should be able to give it a test run in really just a few minutes.
The mounting hardware for the main switch was actually stashed within the switch body itself, so I just had to remove the cover, pull out the mounting hardware, and then use that to mount it to the pre-drilled holes on the base of the unit. Now here I'm going to mount the reversing switch. Now first you have to wire it in, which is straightforward, and the kit comes with all of the connections that you need, and I was able to just follow along the instructions and it went very smoothly. I'm no electrician, but I didn't have any problems installing this onto my unit, and I feel that this is an upgrade that's very worth it. It allows you to reverse the direction of the feed, and so you can go back and forth on a large piece without having to remove it and walk back around the sander and feed it back in. So wiring was really straightforward. It also comes with the mounting hardware, and you just simply drill holes in the front of the stand and mount it, and it secures solidly. Now your sander will come with Velcro already attached, but I'm going to just show you here in case you ever have to reattach it. It's a very straightforward process. Here I'm cutting the end of the Velcro to the correct angle so that it fits properly on the left end of the drum. It gives you kind of your starter angle to get everything lined up for an easy application. Then you're going to just slowly remove the backing and lay it down evenly, and making sure that you're pressing it in place and that there's nothing stuck underneath it. You don't have to butt it up super tight. It's okay to have a little gap, as you can see there. What you don't want to have is that it overlaps, and that will cause a protrusion and make for a bad surface on your sanded piece. So just taking your time, going along, pressing it down in place, and then when you get to the end, you're going to just carefully trim it so that it's flush with the end of the roll and not rubbing at all on the sidewall. Then you'll have a good surface for attaching your sandpaper. Now next I'm going to mount a piece of sandpaper onto the Velcro. I used 100 grit, just kind of at random. That's a good surfacing grit. And then cutting it to the exact angle specified. Now here I'm going to just caution you, the angle here is slightly different than the one that's used for the Velcro, and that's because the Velcro adds a little bit of diameter to that drum. So they have it all spelled out clearly in the manual. You just have to follow along and make sure that you're cutting it to the right angle. according to the instructions. And then it's really a matter of just winding that abrasive on, just being careful to lay it down flat, making sure that it's sticking properly to the Velcro. And this is super grabby stuff, so it feels like it's really going to stay put. And then when you get to the other end, you're going to just trim it along the same way that you did for the Velcro, and then fasten it down on the far end using some fiber tape, and that is going to make sure that it doesn't come unwound during the sanding process. Next, I'll calibrate the digital thickness gauge that comes with the unit. I'll do that by measuring the exact thickness of a board, then setting the drum height to that exact thickness. Then I'll take that information, which was 0.95 inches, and I'm going to use that to follow the instructions in the manual and use the key punch sequence to set the exact gauge measurement to 0.95 inches. I'm just using the preset button to advance the digit, then jumping to the next digit, and I'll set that one to a 5. And now I've told the gauge exactly what the drum height is, and I'm ready to go. All right, and with that, the setup is complete, and I'm ready to do my first test run. So I'm going to just turn on the both switches, the conveyor feed as well as the drum head, and you can see that I've got dust collection going as that dust hose tightens up. You're going to want to have at least a 2-horse dust collector configured. And now I had lowered the conveyor and I'm slowly raising it up, and I'll just raise it up until I can hear it making contact. And now I know that it's actually removing stock and beginning the sanding process. And I'm just running it through. I've got it on a very slow feed setting until I can get a good feel for the machine. I'm just kind of starting out in a slow mode, feeding it through multiple times, just gradually sneaking up, not wanting to be too aggressive at all. And now you'll get a view of the board coming through the outfeed side. This is after several passes, but you can see that the board is looking very, very nice, and the sander did a great job of establishing a good clean surface with the 100 grit abrasive that was on there.
All right, that about wraps this up. So that went through the uncrating, the setup and configuration. There wasn't a lot of setup to do. Mostly it was set up ready to go at the factory. Just getting the switches installed and the abrasives set up on there and so forth. So let me know if you have any questions about the experience so far. What I'm going to do over the next couple weeks is do some testing with it, get to know the machine a little bit, and then I'll come back and provide some more additional information about the machine and using it and so forth. Meanwhile, let me know if you have questions that I didn't address regarding the uncrating and setup, and if you have suggestions for things that you'd like me to do with my tests over the next couple weeks, feel free to make those suggestions as well. And I hope you'll come back and check out round 2 and subscribe and come back for more in general. I do a lot of woodworking, wood turning, and power tool related videos here on the Tool Metrics channel. Thanks again.